Hello, everyone. This is my greeting you. Hopefully, you can see and hear me because, the internet is a fun place. Welcome. My name is Briyana D. Clarel. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and you are watching a very Virgo virtual show. The show where I channel all of my double Virgo energy into an hour of wholesome entertainment for you all to enjoy. It's organized, it's informative, and most of all, it'll be fun and virtual and safe. If you would like closed captions, you can turn them on via YouTube. Today's show is called I Hope Your Flowers Bloom. It's springtime. There are plants, they're growing, there are flowers, and there's lots and lots of pollen, which is why I take allergy medicine every day. So, we're going to talk about the earth. Here's our agenda. We're going to bring back the slideshow. Obviously, there's a slideshow. Here's our agenda. The first thing we do is we check in. I want to know where y'all are at. What's going on? Then we have the queer question. I don't know why there's a comma there, but we will discuss the research report that I did for today. Then we will have a curated conversation, a little interview. We will then have a rainbow reading. I wrote a little story to share with y'all. You'll get some unsolicited advice in true Virgo fashion. And then we'll end with some clearly delineated tasks and next steps for y'all to do moving forward. Oop, that's not supposed to be there. You didn't see that yet. We're going to boop, boop, boop. That's going away. It is time for the check-in. For today's check-in, if you want to share your name and pronouns, feel free. Do not feel obligated to do so. But I would love to know the weather where you are, as well as your favorite thing about spring. So if you want to check in, if you want to tell me anything else, you have some good news, you ate something good today, I would also love to know that. So feel free. And I will also answer that. The weather where I am, I'm checking on my computer to see what the temperature is because I actually don't know. It is currently 77 degrees and sunny out in Philadelphia. And my favorite thing about spring, I think my favorite thing about spring is seeing the little baby plants starting to come back because it just reminds me, that you can come back always. There's always new growth. It's always, you can always, after the horrible, horrible winter, things come back to life. There's always life. So that makes me happy. Okay, we have a check-in from Deja. It's sunny here. My fave thing about spring is watching everything bloom. Same page, same page. We have another one. Yong said, hot but not too hot, and bamboo shoots to eat, but also a sign of growth. You can eat the things that are also the favorite part. That's cute. I love that. I'm going to keep boop. Sorry, I'm slowly catching up on all the comments y'all left. That concludes our check-in. If y'all come in and you want to check in later, that's totally cool. I will read it when you check in. Boop, boop, boop. And it's now time for the queer question. We're going to go back. Here we are. The queer question, a random research report. Every show, every episode, I put together a random research survey. I come up with the queer question. The question is queer because I came up with it and I am queer. So regardless of who does the survey, it is therefore a queer question. I post the survey around, people take it, and then I report back. So here's today's random research report. The queer question was, how do we connect with the earth? It's springtime, plants, nature. So we're going to talk about earth. Here are the methods. I like to be thorough and let y'all know what happened. So this survey, as I said, was open to anyone. It's called the queer question because of me, not because of who's taking it. There were 7 questions about how we connect with the earth, and then there were 4 demographic questions. This survey was anonymous. No one had to report any clearly identifying information. However, only 22 people took it, and I can tell who some of the people are. But it's otherwise anonymous. They didn't have to put their name, nothing else. I spread the word about this via social media, and we hit a new record. 22 people filled out this survey. Previously, I think I had like 14, so this is a new record. Shout out to everyone who filled out the survey. Let's talk about the demographics of who took this survey. The age range, I believe, was 23 to 59. I think most people were in their 20s / early 30s. I'm just going to read to y'all some of the things that people responded because I think they're funny. So we had 6 people said they were female in terms of gender. We had a bunch of non-binary people. Here's some of my favorites for how people filled out their gender. Alongside. Somebody else said all of them. And then we also have a woman with a Y. I'm not going to address that, right? Well, I did just address it, but we're not going to get into that. I just wanted to share the long sigh. So we had some, it was mostly non-binary people and women. I think there were like 3 men who filled this out. What is your sexuality was another question that I asked. Mostly queer people, bisexual people, fluid, curious. Someone said still loading, pansexual, lesbian. I think that there was one person said heterosexual and one said heterosexual, like stereo, but hetero. Anyway, there's only 2 straight people. So this was indeed a queer question. And then race and ethnicity, it seems to be mostly Black people. Again, yeah. And there's some other people in there. There's some white people. There's some mixed, multi-ethnic, Mexican, white and Asian, et cetera, et cetera. We got Blackish, but I think we have there at least half of the people who responded were Black, which, I love that. We're alongside relatable. Also, the still loading for the sexuality. Yeah, that's a brief little overview. So it was about half Black people filled it out. Most of the people were queer, gay, lesbian, pan, or bi. In terms of gender, it was mostly people who were not men. And what did I miss? And age, it was, mostly people who were in their 20s and 30s, and a couple folks all the way up to 59. It's a little intergenerational in here. Let me close this comment. Boop. Now let's get into the questions. Number 1 was, how many plant babies do you have in your home? 40.9% of the people who responded to this question said 0, which made me so sad. Let's get you some plants, friends. 22.7% over here, people said they had between 1 and 5. We had 6 to 10 of the number, like 6 to 10 plants. About 13%. 13% said between 11 and 19. And then that strong 9% said that they had 20 or more plants in their home. Some favorite responses that I would like to share with you. Somebody said that they had none unless my roommates have hidden ones. Mysterious. Somebody said they have 0, but they need to change that as soon as possible. Someone said none, crying emoji. I just dropped the 2 herbs I was trying to grow. That sounds very sad. And I hope that they can come back from that. Also, somebody else has 0 because their cat eats them, which is also very sad. You got to just find a place to put them so the cats can't get to them, like hang them up really high. Though I trust that the cat would find them. They find everything. Plant babies. Let's go to the next question. The second question was, what is your favorite thing to do outdoors? Instead of trying to retype it, I just copy and pasted. So here we go. I'm just going to read some highlights. A lot of people like taking walks and hikes. Someone said hiking like a lesbian. Someone said eating froyo while walking, looking at the moon, feeling the air, kayaking, hiking, people watching, swimming and being near water, sitting and reading. I think hiking and walking wins. We have some specific locations that people like to hike in. For example, we have on the beach at night. We have in a neighborhood with nice houses around the neighborhood. And I've also really resonated with the person who said lay down, because that's how I feel. Yeah, I just want to lay. And then also we have a very descriptive response, which was basking in the sun on a blanket, drinking something cool and fizzy. I love the specificity. We have Decoy plant babies with some cat grass. Yes, if you have, as decoy plant babies, like they're not real, or they're fake ones to trick the cat. I would like to know. Please share more. Love people watching. LOL. Yeah, I think that was that in response to the drinking something cool and fizzy while basking under a blanket. These are beautiful responses. People love being outdoors, and I love that for them. The next question is, how do you care for the earth? So some of these this was like a multiple choice, but people could also add other. So the first couple of let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first 7 I put there, and then the other ones were ones that people filled in as other. So let's see, the most that 18 of the 22 participants said that they recycle. Yay! Our governments don't really do nice things with that recycling. Here where I live, I think they just burn it. But we are recycling. That's cute. I love that. 15 of the people said that they reduce and they reuse. Also important. Recycle is at the end because that promotes consumerism. You know, like, oh, you should just buy it and then recycle after. But we don't like consumerism or capitalism. So we also got to work on the reducing and the reusing. That's my unsolicited advice, even though we didn't get there yet. 2 of the people compost. I compost. I don't personally compost. I take the things and put it in a compost bucket, and then someone, I believe on a bike, some mysterious, like the Tooth Fairy. I put the bucket out, and someone in the dark of the night comes and gets it. I've never seen this person. I believe they ride a bicycle. Maybe one day I should stay up and wait for them to come. I think I'm going to do that. Maybe that will be my research report for next week. What happens when the compost fairy comes? 4 people said that they grow food or flowers in a garden. 12 of the people, which is approximately 55.5%, said that they buy local. And then 7 people said that they talk to the trees. That's a third of the people who filled this out said they talk to the trees. That's very cute. And then these are the ones that people added. Someone said they worry a lot, and that's part of caring for the earth. Same, I think. I don't know that I would have thought of that, but I would like to think that me being very stressed about everything and being wasteful and all the things that I stress about will hopefully help the earth at some point. And then my favorite is I let the pigeons outwalk me. So generous. And I'm sure that they need that. Let's see. I think it's a bike drawn cart. Yes. It does sound like the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, the compost fairy. It's been over a year, I think, since I've been doing the compost thing, and I've never seen the person come pick it up. So I don't know what it looks like. The next question, which is the best feeling? Sand between your toes, bare feet on moss, sun warming resting eyes, cool breeze rocking your hammock, toesies in a cool stream, or floating on your back on the ocean. Oh, I wrote a little poem. I didn't even realize it. So let's see what we have. We have the most was 31.8% of people said cool breeze rocking your hammock. Yes. And then the next was 27.3% of people said sun warming resting eyes. 13.6% of people said toesies in a cool stream. 18.2% said floating on your back on the ocean. And then those 2 tiny little slivers were bare feet on moss and sand between your toes. That's all of them, right? So people are not very into moss or sand. They are, however, very into the water and the sun and the breeze. Science. It's almost like you're a poet. Oh, that's so nice. You know, I try. Next question was, how are you getting enough sun? Is a good question for anyone who said yes. Are you getting enough sun? Nope was 54.5%. Over half the people weren't getting enough sun. 27.3% said yes. I'm very impressed. What are y'all doing? Please let me know. And then there's some other people who filled in the blank. I'm trying my best, but I don't know what enough is. That resonates. Someone said not yet, not as much as I should be. Someone said medium, which I love as a response. But I'm getting a medium amount of sun. Yes. And then we have you ever been camping? Again, 54.5% of people said yes, on the ground in a tent. I am, again, very impressed. I have never done that before. 22.7% of people said kind of. Do cabins count? And then we had 13.6% of people said no, but I want to go. And then the two little slivers at the bottom, someone said no, or I don't know how many people that it was actually. Let's find out. Let's do some I guess improv research. I'm inventing a new form of improv. Okay, yeah. So one person said no, but I would consider it. One person said never have, never will. I support that, knowing yourself in that way. And then we have which body of water sparks the most joy? This is the last question. And I think this is my favorite question. So 10 people said ocean. 4 people said lake. 3 people said stream or creek. 2 people said jacuzzi or hot tub. 1 person said river. 1 person said pond. And 1 person said swimming pool. Does that mean nobody said estuary? And no one said puddle. Fine. I accept that, I guess. I thought that somebody would. I actually don't know what an estuary is. I'm not gonna lie. Is it something in between a river or like a part of a river, or I don't know. Unclear. But this is what people liked the most. Mostly the ocean, the lake, streams or creek. Also, shout out to the creeks. I love streams. I want to look up estuary. Probably should have looked it up before, but that's okay. According to, is this Google? Is it Google or is it? No, it is Google. I don't know how Google came up. Usually I use DuckDuckGo. Estuary, noun, the tidal mouth of a large river where the tide meets the stream. I don't know if that, okay. Did I clarify anything? Where the river, it's a partially enclosed. Okay, hold on, one more. An estuary. This is Wikipedia. An estuary is a partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water with one or more rivers or streams flowing into it, with a free connection to the open sea. Okay, I see. Estuary, a river passage where a water passage where the tide meets a river current. Okay, I'm gonna have to break that down some more, but yes, estuary. I just think it sounds cool. Also, nature. So let's get to our conclusions. Here are our conclusions. We love the ocean. People recycle, even if our cities or municipalities do not. Ooh, cough. People actually go camping and sleep on the ground in tents. And also, we need more. Wow. It is the aforementioned pollen getting to me. Those are some of my conclusions. And here we are, the queer question answered. As always, this very scientific study was not approved by any governing body or backed by any institution. However, no animals were harmed. And we're gonna boop, boop, boop. The Very Virgo virtual show where you can also learn vocab and nature facts. Yes, I try to include some education. Community. We're doing some immersive. I don't know. I was about to throw out some random words that people like to use when they're like, we're doing an immersive, co-learning, co-creating meaning experience right now together. Let us move on to our next section of the show. That was the queer question. Up next, we have drum roll. A curated conversation with Deja Morgan. Yay! So this is the part of the show where I find people who I think are cool and I ask them a bunch of questions. It's a conversation. It's curated. It's kind of like an interview. It's kind of like a chat, And for this episode, I sat down virtually with my friend Deja. Woo, Deja! You're getting cheers already. We didn't even start yet. And I hope you enjoy this conversation. I'm going to play in like 5 seconds, and I'm going to stop talking. Hello, and welcome to a curated conversation with Deja Morgan. Deja and I met for the first time in real life at a coffee shop somewhere in Philadelphia, and I cannot recall where it was, what it was, when it was, because it was in the before times, and everything is just a blur now. But I'm going to start over. Yep. Curated conversation. Today, my guest apparently is this was not the edited version. Come on, iMovie, help me out here. Hold on. Let's see. But that's okay. I am very excited to have Deja here as a guest on the show today. There she is.
Yay! Hello.
I will now. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're totally fine. Please.
Zoom is fun. We're not on Zoom. This is not an endorsement of Zoom. I will now do a dramatic reading of Deja's bio because life is short and I think that reading bios is generally very awkward. Deja Morgan is a theater maker, performance artist, and writer who was born and raised in Texas and currently resides in Philadelphia, PA. She is inspired by the legacies and work of figures such as Octavia E. Butler, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Alexis Pauline Gumbs, and is focused on creating Afro-futurist worlds that nurture Black ancestral connection and uninhibited dreaming. Deja is also intimately invested in issues surrounding food sovereignty, farming, and cooking, interests which inform much of her artistic work. As Venus is the ruler of Deja's astrological chart, Pisces Sun, Cancer Moon, and Libra Rising, to be exact, dreaming, loving, and connection with others comes naturally. Just a few of the many gifts she intends to offer back to the world. I just got to shout out the alliteration.
Yeah.
I'm intimately invested in issues. Yes.
I didn't even realize that until you read it.
I find alliteration to be thrilling, so that was very exciting to me. And we brought in the astrology. We had all the things in here. What a beautiful bio.
Thank you. Shout out to Michael for editing it. Hate you, Michael.
So thank you so much for being here virtually in our little streaming platform situation. And since this is a curated conversation, I have 7 questions to guide us on this journey. So we're going to start off with a very important question that everyone wants to know the answer to. What is your favorite juice and or fruity beverage?
This is so easy because I love apple juice. I will literally drink apple juice like there is no tomorrow. Like I actually have to be very intentional about when I get apple juice because I will literally drink up a big bottle like this in a day. So yeah, that's apple juice. Mm-hmm.
Apple juice is delicious. I love. You already said a bottle. Do you enjoy juice boxes?
I especially love juice boxes. Like little treats. Like they're just little yummy treats, and I love them.
Juice boxes are everything. Thank you for sharing and answering this very important question that we have here to jump us off. You know, my pandemic vocabulary and way of speaking has just become, it's just evolving and taking on a life of its own. And so if you hear me say weird things.
Hey, there's no judgment here, okay? We're still navigating this panty, so like, I don't expect anyone to show up in any kind of normal capacity right now.
Okay, let's see. What is an adventure that you would love to have in the great outdoors? It could be something that you've already done that you want to do it again, or, something new.
Okay, so I actually went snorkeling, and it totally freaked me out because I was sheltered as a child. So like when I actually saw the like fish and all the like reef, I like freaked out. But it also made me very inspired because I was like, the ocean is this big, vast, huge, like beautiful, like thing. So I feel like I would love to like face those fears again and just be out in the ocean and just get comfortable with being in like the big vastness of it all. So I feel like I would love to learn how to like dive and like scuba dive or something and just like really get up close and personal with all the like all my Pisces relatives. So maybe I think like scuba diving, but I feel like I would need people with me. Like I would need like a whole crew of people to feel safe and not freak out to hold on to somebody. But yeah, scuba diving.
Did you freak out about like seeing the things or just like the vastness of it all in general?
I think it was just like, you know, when you're like a kid, or I don't know, maybe it's just something we experience as human beings when like we don't understand something, and because we don't know something, it like, well, I mean, that can be interpreted in so many ways. But anyway, I feel like when I was down there and I saw the like, it was like rocks and big reefs and stuff, and in Finding Nemo they make you look cute, like all the anemones. When you're in the ocean, and one, I don't know how to swim, so there's like that piece. But when I was down there, I was just like, these rocks are gonna get me. Like if I touch the rocks, they're gonna get me. And that was not true, but that's what my brain was telling me. And so that's what scared me, was just like not being by like just the vastness of like, there's these big reefs and like, it was just the vastness of it all. I think that like made me freak out a little bit.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I went snorkeling once and I was like a baby adult, but I was an adult, and they put me on the boat. I went back on the boat. I was like, I don't know. I was like nauseous, and I was like, this is trippy, and I just want to be back.
Insane. Yes. I feel like though, like it's not like uncommon, because I also have a friend who was freaked out when they went like I don't think they went scuba diving, but they went snorkeling with their family, and they like saw like a sunken ship, and they were telling me how they freaked out because they're like, this is too big and this is too much, and they like swim back to the boat. So we're not alone.
It's like entering another realm. It's weird. It's a weird thing, and it's like, I feel like it also like messes with your perception, because like, you know, you're used to seeing things, and then like suddenly you're like face down,
yes,
looking at a bunch of stuff that you like feel like you should be watching on a screen, but it like it's in front of you, but you can't really reach it. Especially if you're like snorkeling, because you can only go so far with your little thing. Anyway, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who was like, this is too much for me.
Definitely not. It is very overwhelming.
Okay, let's find another one. What seeds have you been planting this spring?
So I'm actually in a seed keeping fellowship at Greensboro Farms, which is situated in North Philly, like not North Philly, but like Kensington area. And they have like a big urban garden farm in that location. And we have like a garden specifically for the fellows. So we've been planting like seeds that are specific to like our cultural heritage. So I chose seeds from like my Filipinx side and Filipinx. Yeah, sorry. That and my southern roots. And so I am co-stewarding Bittermelon with another like cohort mate of mine. And I'm also growing some like Filipino spinach, which is like commonly known as like Egyptian spinach. And I'm also going to be growing some butter beans and some black eyed peas, which is like an ode to like my southern roots, which I didn't know that like butter beans weren't like commonly eaten in the North. Like I was just like, everybody eats this. Like my papa makes it every Friday, but apparently it's not like a common thing. So like, yeah, that's what I've been growing, and I hope to grow some more things, but I'm still figuring out what those are. But I want to grow some sunflowers. I want to grow like a big, huge like sunflower that grows to like 15 feet. So we'll see.
Sunflowers are terrifying.
It's like I actually was on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and like this person selling seeds, like sunflower seeds, and when they harvest the flower, it's like literally as big as like your head.
Yes. My dad grew one in our backyard like years ago, and I think that has haunted me ever since. Because because like the birds eat the seeds out, and then it looks even more scary because then it's like the seeds are like, I mean, I assume the birds ate them. I don't know, the seeds were all missing. And then they start to like die, so then they're just like slowly falling, and this thing is like way bigger than you. But they are beautiful, so I'm excited for you to grow some sunflowers.
Thank you. I feel like I understand that vibe though of just like this nightmare before like summer gardening thing coming down.
They're just massive. Like they're I think that also was like you see them and they're like, oh, you see like on a little cartoon and it's like a little baby sunflower, and then you see them in real life, you're like, why is this thing taller than me?
They're huge.
Like for what reason? Especially as a kid, because it was like, probably 3 times my height at that point. Do you have any metaphorical seeds that you're planting? I love that you literally have literal seeds. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, so I'm planting in my soul. In this garden in my soul, I am planting seeds of independence, and I'm planting seeds of like renewal and rebirth, in terms of like just I feel like I'm stepping more into like my purpose, or like discovering what my purpose is. And so I feel like I've just been like planting seeds to help me get more clarity on what those things are. But yeah, like I think I've been focused on like just stepping into myself and getting comfortable, like being who I'm supposed to be, whoever that winds up being. So yeah, those are the seeds I'm planting in the garden of my soul right now.
So beautiful. We got real seeds. We got metaphorical soul seeds.
Yeah, we put everything in here.
All the things. Okay, let's see which. There was an order, and then oh no, there's still an order. We're good.
Okay.
What is your ideal number of seasons, and what are they?
This is hard as someone who has been grown up with one main season and 2 weeks of another season, and then who has transitioned into 4 actual seasons in the past 2 years. Anyway, I absolutely love spring. What is my ideal number of seasons? Let's see. I feel like 4 is a good number. I feel like it's a good balance. I feel like when you actually live in a climate where it actually has 4 seasons, like it just actually makes sense. I don't know about winter though. Like that's still something I'm trying to figure out. But I like the 4 seasons. It's a balanced, and it makes sense to like have spring where things are blooming and being reborn, and then it's summer and it's like everything's in full motion, and then fall is like, okay, we wind it down now, and then winter's like, okay, we're all gonna lay everything to rest. So I feel like 4 seasons make sense, but I feel like if I could like live in like 2 seasons, I don't know. I feel like I was gonna say spring and summer, but I'm like, I like fall because it's like it's cool, but the sun is still out. In spring it'd be raining a lot sometimes. So anyway, I'm gonna say 4.
Interesting.
Yes.
I also feel similarly conflicted because I don't like it when it's cold, but then I also appreciate it's. I mean, obviously very different now in a pandemic, but like I appreciate having a period of time where I'm like not expected to do things as much, like there's no pressure to go outside because no one's trying to go outside.
Exactly. I like that too.
Yeah, when I lived in Austin, I was like, wait, I actually missed having like, because nothing slows down, like here in March, it's still, people are still kind of like, oh, it's still cold, things aren't thawing yet. But, in March, everyone's like, hey, we're outside again. It's great.
Especially
I'm tired.
Right. No, especially with spring break and South by, obviously pre-pandemic times, it's like March is full blown in Austin. So yeah, it is nice to like have people just be like peeking out like, okay, it's not quite time yet to be out here.
No. I mean, it's May, and it's just like, well, by the time people are watching this, it will be June. No, it'll be May. No, it'll be in 3 days. Oh my God, I'm lying. I don't know what day it is. Anyway, but yes, it's May, and I feel like people have just started going outside because it was cold last month.
It was cold, and I was
cold.
yes, I literally like had packed like a bag to like go somewhere, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just, have my little tank tops, and I was like, oh, I need a coat. I need a little coat.
We have like set up a balcony like with like cute little I don't know, like rocking chairs and like tiles and like lanterns and stuff. We set it up at like maybe end of March, and then it was freezing, so I was out there in a down coat. Like, with like I was like, but I want to sit outside, so I was just put my coat on and just sit on the balcony and be like, okay, I can do my little work now.
Oh my gosh, not a down coat. I'm like envisioning you just like bundled up on the patio with your down coat.
I'm gonna enjoy this outdoors. That's what it was. It was. It was nice. I needed to like get some air, but it was. I was like, why is this? Even this was like in April. I was like, why is it so cold? Let us choose another one. You kind of answered this one already, but if there's anything you want to add, how do you generally connect with the earth?
Let's see. I feel like I've started. I think taking walks is definitely like my way of like tuning in and being present with like my environment. And I think like recently I've been as like a spiritual practice connection with the earth. I've like wake up in the morning and like my papa has a big compost pile. So he'll like throw food out on there. And I like told you before it was a pineapple. Now there's squash. And it's taking over the backyard. But it's funny. It's so funny because I'm like, okay, we have squash now. Like, one time when I was like younger, like we threw a pumpkin out there and we literally had a pumpkin patch in our backyard. Like it was a lot. But anyway, I sit down in the morning, like when I get up and like get the crust off my face, and I go outside and I like actually talk to like the plants and like thank them for like existing and like choosing to like grow. Because I think like oftentimes I was just talking to my friend about this, like when we grow food, I think it's, especially in this capitalistic society, like it's expected like, oh, these seeds are gonna sprout, and like it's kind of like this relationship of like the earth needs to do this, or the earth like owes us these things. And it's like the earth can literally be like, I'm not giving y'all anything. So I feel like I've been connecting more by like talking to like plants, and even when I like put like seedlings in the ground, just like talking to them and like playing music and just like, kind of like how you would with like a baby in the womb, just like giving those just like giving those offerings to like the earth, and like letting the earth know like how much gratitude you have for like the wonderful things that it allows us to like take part in. So yeah, I just talk and like to sing and dance and do all the Pisces all that stuff. Yeah.
Lucky little plant babies. So cute.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. You just reminded me of this. I watch children's TV shows. There's an episode of Summer Camp Island on HBO Max where they are like planting some stuff, and like it doesn't work out the first time because they didn't like do it right. So then they have to go back and like whisper affirmations to the little creature. I forget what they're growing. But they have to go back and like whisper sweet nothings to all of them so that they grow. They did grow, yeah. It's so cute. Yeah, it's such a cute show. But I'm like, oh yeah, that's real. They need love.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, here's another one. Which plants are your BFFs? Which I was gonna say favorite plant, but I hate the word like favorite. But like if are there any plants that you feel particularly connected to? Like whether you have them like in your space or just in life?
Yes. Definitely my fiddly fig amber. We That's my girl. She's been riding with me since the beginning of my plant journey. Like, I actually got her from the underground plant trade, and like I saw on like Instagram, and one of my friends was like, free plants over here. So I was like, okay. And like me and my roommate pulled up, and like I didn't know what kind of plant she was when I got her. I was just like, I feel spiritually connected to her. So I like got her, and then I researched, and I was like, this is the most like particular needy plant ever, but I also am similar. So I was like, so yeah, fiddly fig, and I'm so proud of her because she's like, she started off as like 3 feet, but I'm pretty sure she's grown another foot since I've had her, and I'm just so like, I'm a proud like, mom. But yeah, my fiddly fig, and then like my Philippine evergreen. I forget the like scientific name of it, but she's been on the struggle bus too. Like, well, not too, but she's been on the struggle bus because she had root rot, unfortunately. But she's just teaching me about how to take care of her and her specific needs. But I'm gonna learn. She's one of my BFFs, even though I'm still trying to figure out what her needs are. But yeah, and then there's another plant. Oh, my penny plant. I forget the name of it, but it's like a round leaf, and the leaves are very like luscious and thick, and they're like little circles, and they grow like, I don't know, but her name is Penny because her actual like scientific name is like a penny something. But she's really cute, and I wish I had pictures. But
I know I should have pulled up a slideshow.
I know. No, yeah, I'll just drop them in the comments when you post this. Yeah. Those are my 3 BFFs. Like, all my plants are really my BFFs. Like waking up and just being like, "Hi, y'all! Thank y'all for greeting me." But yeah, those are my 3 like ride or dies.
I love that. Thank you. I don't know if you can't really see it. I have the humidifier on for the plants right now, and it's just like,
yes,
coming right across my face right now. It's also for me. I probably also need it.
It's definitely a 2-in-1. Like, I got like a humidifier for like a large room, even though like I definitely don't have like a large like it's a humidifier pretty much for like plant stores, but I was like, my plants get the best. But the good thing about it is that I also get the humidity in here, and my plants get the humidity that they need. So it just works out for everybody.
Yeah, I got 2. I got about 1 for my room and 1 for the office. Because I was like, I need it in both rooms.
It's essential.
Where the plants are, especially in the winter. Okay, we did this one already, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we have a rapid fire in quotation marks because it doesn't actually have to be rapid fire. But I have some this or that's for you.
Okay.
Which I think are fun. But we don't do binaries, so you can answer however you want. The first one is rainforest or desert?
Rainforest.
Hiking or biking?
Biking.
Sunrise or sunset?
Both. Definitely both.
Pacific or Atlantic?
I've never been to the Atlantic, to be honest with you. So wait, is the East Coast the Pacific or the Atlantic?
Atlantic.
Well, I've never been to the Pacific then. So
I was like, I feel like you've been to the beach.
Right, I have been to the beach. I don't know what coast. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would say both because I feel like both are like beautiful in their own ways. So yeah.
Carrot juice or green juice? I know green is not very specific, but fill in whatever green vegetable you want.
I feel like I'm gonna go with green juice. Yeah. Green juice can be very versatile. So
that's true.
Yeah,
I love putting carrot juice and stuff. It's just like so random, but I'm like, wait, this is good.
I haven't. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, when you juice it, like I know it tastes like carrots, but like, can you describe the juice?
It's I don't really drink it by itself, but like carrot, orange, ginger, or like or sometimes I like put it in like a smoothie with like it's orange and like I don't know what I put the orange, but like orange and pineapple or something in a smoothie.
Okay.
Carrot. I meant carrot and pineapple. It's like sweet because carrots are like a little bit sweet.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. But I definitely can like the carrot, apple, ginger situation. Definitely sounds like really good. So yeah.
Would recommend. And then I feel like I'm like, ooh, look, I'm drinking something orange. That feels healthy. That feels like a nutrient that I'm probably lacking.
Honestly, yes, because I'm like, I don't know the last time that I've actually cooked a carrot. So yeah, I used to juice a lot. So I'm like really like, I need to get some carrots and some apples and ginger now.
Just put them in there. They're good. The next one, aquarium, zoo, or also abolition now.
Definitely abolition now, and aquarium. I don't know. I don't want aquarium or zoo because I want the animals to be free. Yeah, I just want them to be out.
We're gonna go with the abolition.
You said what?
But we're just gonna go with the abolition.
Yes.
And I guess they're like they're like, oh, they're good for conservation, but you can just have like a conservation center, right? That's different. It's a different
yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. I just know if I was an animal and I was just like roaming wide open places, whether that's in the ocean or the land, I'd be like, what is this cage I'm in? Like, what
is the reason?
What?
Okay, we got two more. Picnic in a park or backyard barbecue?
Ooh, I definitely want both. I want both all the time.
Take the leftovers from the barbecue with you to have a picnic in the park.
Correct.
Yes. Ants or bumblebees?
Oh, I like both because ants are like so fascinating. They have so many different like powers and like capabilities, and bumblebees are just like, they help pollinate stuff and like they make honey and like they do so much good stuff for plants and for the earth. So I like both. Yeah.
Yay!
I love that.
Thank you for participating in my this or that. Thank you for participating in general. Do you have any parting words on the name of this episode? As people know, because they're watching it right now, is I hope your flowers bloom. Do you have any parting words for the people regarding this topic and earth and springtime?
Yeah. I would just say let the plants teach you. Like, let them teach you as they're like growing and as they're like, some plants, like it's so fascinating to me, like house plants versus like plants in the wild. Cause I'm like, plants in the wild will literally grow on like wires and like out of the concrete, and I'm like trying to keep a house plant alive. But anyway, but I feel like I've learned a lot about patience and resilience and just slowness and just like the process of growing. And like, it's not always great to like, doesn't always feel good to like grow and heal, but I think like I've embraced that process more by like letting my plants teach me about, like honoring what their needs are, and in turn honoring what my needs are, and like just being very gracious with myself. But like obviously all of that is like, take that and use it however it feels good for you, because I feel like there's a lot of fluffy floaty language floating out there these days. So I mean, even if you just stop to smell the flowers and just be like, that's cute, and keep it moving. That's nice too.
The plant baby. You said something that reminded me of something, but then I forgot what it was. Oh well, it's gone. It's gone. I looked out on the deck yesterday and saw some plants growing from like the crack in between like where the wood is of the deck and the house. And I was just
wild plants.
They're like,
yes, They're literally like, anyway, we're gonna come in here and do this thing real quick. So bye.
I'm gonna go check on them to see. I don't know what they are. I was just like, oh, some greenery that I didn't have to put out here.
I love it.
It just decided this is my home now and just decided to start growing.
They chose you. It's wonderful.
I did choose. I don't know what it is. It could be. I mean, I'm assuming it's not poisonous.
I don't think it is.
I don't know something. Mystery. This was my first time attempting to use iMovie to edit something. Won't do that again. Thank you again to, well, you didn't see it. I said thank you at the end. Deja waved. It was cute. Thank you for tuning in and watching that curated conversation. The show's not over yet. We have more. If you would like to, can you see it? It's very tiny at the bottom. If you would like to follow Deja, there's her little, down there is her little Twitter handle, top notch actress at sign. Follow her and learn about everything that she does. We got some comments. Blame it on retrograde. It's the suspenseful, abrupt ending added some drama. I love that. Subverted expectations, like the ending did, perhaps, mayhaps, unclear. Yeah, I don't know. I edited something from the beginning and then it seems like I edited the end. So if anyone knows how to work iMovie, let me know. I am behind on the times when it comes to technology. So, fun fact, in addition to that beautiful, wonderful curated conversation, Deja also gave me some ingredients, 7 of them, in fact, to help me craft a script, story, poem, some creative artistic piece to share with you all. So I am proud to say that I included all 7, and here's what the ingredients were. Number 1 was pink headphones, 2 passport, 3 squash, 4 HEB, 5 sun, 6 sage, and 7 tummies. And so without further ado, it is time for boop, 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 a rainbow reading. I will now read to you Clementine in the Morning Sun. It was a bright Tuesday morning, and Clementine was ready to face the sun. They stepped out of their front door with pink headphones in their ears, a manila envelope in their hand, and a smile on their face. On their way to the bus stop, they dropped the envelope into their favorite mailbox, the one covered with colorful, encouraging stickers. They wished their passport good luck on its way to being renewed. They weren't sure when they would be able to travel again, but they wanted to be prepared just in case. There were 2 other people at the bus stop. They wore matching triangle print crop tops, their tummies soaking up the sun. Clementine could hear them discussing the ethics of purchasing sage for smudging over the sound of their music. They seemed to come to an agreement. The bus arrived and Clementine found a seat in the back. They looked out the window as a sad song played, imagining they were in a music video. They passed by HEB and they felt even sadder as it had been almost 3 whole weeks since they last visited their favorite grocery store. They passed homes and schools and post offices. Finally, they reached their destination. They hopped off the bus and walked 3 blocks. The community farm was beautiful. Today, Clementine planned to check on the squash and tomatoes before teaching an intergenerational garden-inspired writing class in the picnic area. But first, they had their own gardening ritual to complete. They found their favorite spot, a bench under a tree where they had a view of the whole small farm. From their perch, they could see all the rows of growing plants, the tool supply shed, and the picnic area. They pulled out a hardcover orange notebook and their favorite blue pen. They wrote about the sunshine that morning and how the sadness creeps in whenever they're on the bus looking emotionally out the window. They wrote about how the squashes are growing bigger and how they hope they'll be able to use their passport to travel somewhere lush and green very soon. The birds sang and the wind rustled the leaves. The whole farm tuned in to Clementine's creative flow. They finished their last sentence and gently closed the journal, bookmark in place. They inhaled deeply, smiling at the abundance around them. Content with their moment of solitude and reflection, they jump down from the bench, eager to start their full day of growing food, teaching the youths, and building more sustainable ways of living for all of us. The end. I'm clapping for myself since the plants can't clap for me. Thank you, Deja, for those ingredients. Again, they were pink headphones, passport, squash, HEB, sun, sage, and tummies. Deja gave me those ingredients. I put them in a little story. I hope you enjoyed it. Clementine's little morning journey. We're gonna go back. Oh, we have a yay and all. Oh, on all. Got some claps. That was, oh gosh, I don't know which ones I clicked on already. Nice and peaceful, sweet and wonderful. We got some emojis. Yes. I love that they added the little like plant emoji and the sunflower. The sunflowers are back. And I think it's the little, I can't, everything is so tiny. I can't see anything. Thank you for tuning into that rainbow reading. Coming up next, we have some unsolicited advice from me, your friendly local Virgo. Here's some unsolicited advice, some tips and tricks that literally no one asked for. Today's topic is caring for the earth. Deja covered a lot of these things already, but I just wanted to go over some more. Number one is love plants. Plants are so cute. I used to be very afraid of them because I felt like I was going to kill them. And I did. I did kill some plants. Some plants have died. But also, so many more are growing, and I've saved some. So my advice is get a plant. Don't panic. It's okay. You can do it. Be patient with the plant babies. I used to just like panic. I was like, I don't know what to do with you, so I'm just going to let you stay there, and I'm not going to water you, and I'm not going to put you in the sun, and I'm just going to hope that you still grow. And that's not how things grow unless it's like a succulent. But then even then, it still needs some water and some sun. So I definitely recommend doing your research. When you get a plant or when you're about to buy a plant, maybe check out to see what it is. If you don't have sun in your apartment, maybe don't get a plant that needs a lot of sun. But, do your research. Look up the plant. Find out what kind of sunlight it needs so you can put it in the right place. And then also find out how much water it needs or how often. I usually just do a little finger check. And like if it's dry, then I give it some more water. And then the ones that need some humidity, get a little spray bottle, get a little humidifier, make sure they're happy, spend some time with them. And you can make it part of your ritual to go check on the plant babies every day. Because, I think that's fun. Don't ignore them. They want to hang out with you. Also, I have on here, you can save them. I have killed some plants recently too. But I've also saved several that I did not think were going to come back. I've saved, I have like a ficus rubber tree that I saved from, it had some like pests that I saved. It's back, it's still growing. I have a couple other ones that either were like super dehydrated or I don't know, all kinds of issues. And I saved them so you can bring them back. And also it's okay if they die, you can let them go. You can put them in your compost bin. And if you are looking to get some plants, you don't know where to get them, you can get them all over the place, online, in the store. You can also regrow some food scraps, such as scallions. If you just want some like greenery that's also multifunctional, you can regrow some food scraps. You can support local gardens, and also you can get cuttings and babies from your friends. So if your friends have some plants and the plants grow, these are some. If you live near me and you want some spider plant babies, give me a couple weeks, and it keeps giving babies, so I will have a lot. And if you can like propagate some stuff. I haven't done that yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to propagate my prayer plan. I'll report back. Number 2 on my unsolicited advice is go outside. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I have a tendency to not do that thing. So I recommend going outside. That can mean you just step outside on your porch and get some air, get some sun. You could go for a walk. You could go to a nature, somewhere that's more green than perhaps where you are. If you live in a city like I do, it's pretty green out there, but not that green. It could be more green. Also, make sure you put some sunscreen on your skin, so to protect it from the sun. Do not forget, capitalism ruined the ozone layer. I believe that's true, right? That's a real thing. I'm like, no, the sun is intense. Please put some sunblock on. Yes, you can have several spider plant babies because many are being grown right now. yes to going outside. Yes, I feel like I haven't learned about the ozone layer since like not even high school, middle school. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting the language correct around the ozone. But yeah, no, it's a mess. Put some sunblock on, please. It's not. I know that we're like, oh, we're meant to be in the sun, like melanin. Yay, that's true. And also, the sun was not. I don't think the sun was sunning like it was before. What else do we have? Support land conservation efforts. Protests when people are trying to gentrify and take over land that could be used for trees and people's housing. And also, please remember that, well, if you're in the US, this land was taken over by people who are not from here. So also support efforts to give the land back and go outside. And then finally, number 3. Oh, this doesn't need to be there. Boop, it's gone now. Number 3 is be nice to food. I get really stressed out when it comes to like food in general. When I just think about, I'm like, oh, all the energy that went into making this one berry that I didn't eat, and now it's squishy, and that's so sad. But there's still ways that you can, things will be forgotten, things happen. But there are some other ways you can be nice to food to honor, the earth that produced it and the people who grew it and picked it. So one thing I have on here is just freeze. You can freeze food. You can buy frozen food. You can stick it in the freezer. You got some berries, you're not going to eat them, cut them up, stick them in the freezer. Got some rice, you're not going to eat it, put it in a bag, stick it in the freezer. Freezer's great. Freezer food. It'll make it last longer and avoid things going bad. Also, compost. You can do like Deja's grandfather and just stick it in the yard. Get a bucket, put it in the bucket. I pay for like a composting service. So like I said, the compost fairy comes and picks us up my compost every other week. And it doesn't go into a landfill. It doesn't go into my trash. My trash is less stinky. It goes back to the soil somewhere in Philadelphia. Also, eat leftovers. Get creative with your food. You got some food, you don't know what to do with it? Google, contact me, ask me. I'll tell you what to do with your random things that you have that you don't know what to do with. And also, one way to be nice to the food is to be nice to people who grew it and made it and packed it and served it and shipped it to you. So fight for 15. Minimum wage should be way more than $15. So fight for a higher minimum wage for everyone, all workers. Support the workers. Be nice to food. Yes. Those are all of my unsolicited. That's all my unsolicited advice for today. Be nice to food, go outside, give the land back, fight for 15, get a plant, etc. It's time for our clearly delineated tasks. Boop, boop, boop. These are my sound effects. We have 3 clearly delineated tasks for today. Before we wrap up this episode, I would like to give you some clear steps because that's what I like to have. I want to know, like, oh, what do I do next? What are my blah, 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 blah. It's a call to action, business, blah, blah, blah. I just like to think of them as clearly delineated because I just want it to be clear. So number 1, if you would like to see more of the show, make sure you subscribe. I don't know where the buttons are. Subscribe, like, follow, etc. Also follow the Very Virgo Show. I'm pulling up the there we go. On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I post updates when I remember because social media is hard. Also, tune in to the next episode on Thursday, June 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Pride themed. Yay, Pride Month. Episodes are every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join live or catch the replay whenever you want. Additionally, if you would like to support this project and get fun behind the scenes content, head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/Briyana Clarel. Being on a computer is so I don't know how streamers and YouTubers look at the camera while doing things. I'm sitting over here pressing 1,000 buttons and I don't know what I'm looking at. So I apologize. Additionally, that was it. Those are the 3. Like, subscribe, follow social media, watch the next episode in 2 weeks, and go to patreon.com. I'm going to share the advice. I'm going to share the story time in addition to other things. I might even share a springtime playlist. Those are my 3 very clearly delineated tasks. Bam. Please remember that the earth is a kind soul and we should be nice to the earth. Please give it as much love as possible. Thank you all to my patrons and everyone else who made this episode possible. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, please continue wearing a mask regardless of what the CDC says and go get some sun. Thank you. See you next time.